News 8 is brought to you tonight by Esso Standard Oil.
For Tuesday, June the 30th, 1987, here's the day in review. Good evening, I'm Ron Burton. Most of the territory's government workers received the first installment of their retroactive wage payments today, although there were some delays in distributing the checks to education employees here on St. Croix. Finance Commissioner John DeYoung Jr. said that the Finance Department sent out all checks as scheduled and that the Education Department added a step to the distribution procedure to include an explanation of the payment. Now, one spokesperson for that department said that this procedure and the fact that there were some 2,000 checks to sort caused the delays. Teachers' checks were available at their respective schools by 5:30 this evening, or they can be picked up tomorrow. Reactions to today's payment ran from one extreme to the other. Workers were disappointed at the amount of money they received. Labor leaders are asking for a better payment schedule, and government officials are pleased with the fact that for the first time in 5 years they were able to make good on their promise. Kim Jameson has a report.
In clearing up the question of how much of their retroactive wages would be paid today, a spokesperson for Senate President Ivor Stridiron's office reported that employees received 25% of the total amount owed them. He added that the length of time one has been on the government payroll determines the amount of retroactive pay due, and that some would receive a considerable amount today and some would not. According to legislation, another $10 million will be paid by November 30th, $12 million will be paid by next May, and the remaining $11 million owed will be paid by October 1988. Ralph Mandrew, president of the Central Labor Council, is urging the legislature to step up this payment schedule.
We believe that since the money is now available, it is foolish to have those employees waiting. Many employees have expressed the fact that they are in debt, that they have serious financial problems, and does need that money now.
Mandrew has written the Senate President and other government officials with this request and has not received a response. He did, however, get some feedback from government employees today concerning their payments.
We have gotten lots of telephone calls today from government employees who said they're very unhappy over what they have gotten. Some employees have said they've gotten $200, others have gotten less, and that they wondered what this is all about.
According to Mandrew, the amount some workers received today is a reflection of how little they earn.
The wages is so small that the $8 million is clearly shown up now to be nothing. If they'd given the total $60 million, it would have been better. The people would have seen more money today. But all that has happened with this $8 million, it's a reflection now that the retroactive pay clearly points out that the Senate majority should have voted to give them all of it.
Some members of the legislature saw this first installment payment as a fulfilled commitment. Following yesterday's check presentation, Stridiron expressed his optimism, stating that it shows that the government has the greenbacks to deliver, not promises. The senator has also been quoted as saying that there is a strong possibility that government workers will receive their lump sum payments ahead of the published schedule. This is Kim Jameson reporting for News 8.
The Senate Committee on Commerce held a public hearing in Frederickstead last evening in response to numerous complaints and observations about issues and development affecting the west end of St. Croix. Those testifying cited inadequate police protection, the lack of a full-time medical facility, and government offices and services that have moved out of Frederickstead. Others say they oppose that second cruise ship pier that is being considered by the Port Authority. Now, Chief Anthon Christian, addressing the police situation, said that foot patrols are used during the winter tourist season, but manpower limits prohibit year-round assignments. Christian said he expects that the new recruits now being trained will increase the presence of the police force in Frederickstead. Senator Verdon Brown said that certain services were lost due to the government's centralization, but medical facilities must be available regardless of cost. The Department of Public Works is holding an orientation meeting on St. Croix this evening concerning the flood control project that is scheduled to begin in the Monbijou area next year. Tracy Stevens has the story.
The flood control problems in the Monbijou area will be addressed tonight at a public forum to be held at John Woodson Junior High School.
The flooding problems have been plaguing residents since the mid-70s, causing many to take action constructing walls to protect their property from the flowing water. The community will be familiarized with the situation, as well as the plans and techniques which will relieve them of this seasonal problem. The proposed construction methods, timetables, and arrangements which will be made will affect the homeowners for at least 2 years. According to Public Works Commissioner James Savage, engineers from the Army Corps will be present to answer questions on the project. The $3.9 million plan is scheduled to begin at the end of 1988, spanning 2 years before completion. Savage said the whole purpose of the construction project is to minimize the damage to homes in the area, adding that the Army Corps of Engineers has designed a system which would allow the water to flow around the community instead of through it. Residents of the area have noted that after heavy rain falls, the problem is quite severe and always follows the same path, damaging the same houses.
In Monbijou, this is Tracy Stevens reporting for News 8.
A status conference was held today in San Juan's District Court for Eduardo Ramon Mena, the man charged with the recent hijack attempt aboard a Virgin Islands seaplane flight. The District Court judge has given a psychiatrist until today to file an evaluation of the man before setting a hearing date. Now, the court did not, however, receive that report, postponing the bail hearing date until the report is submitted. On June the 5th, Mena attempted to hijack the shuttle flight between St. Thomas and San Juan, demanding the pilot fly him to Cuba. He later surrendered at the San Juan airport when the plane landed to refuel. We'll be back with more news in just a moment.
It's time to reveal your engine's optimum power with new Esso Optimum, the most advanced formula gasoline ever developed by Esso Technology, with an anti-rust agent and high-performance cleanser that eliminates grime from your carburetor or fuel injectors for optimum power and optimum satisfaction. New Esso Optimum, only from Esso.
It kills for pleasure.
He was skinned alive!
It hunts for sport.
Just kill me as one at a time.
But this time,
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
it's picked the wrong man to hunt. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator.
Starting Thursday at Sunny Owl Theaters.
This week at Plaza Extra, you can save big on Heritage Medium Eggs, 1 dozen, 3 for $2. Tropicana Fruit Punch, 64 ounce, 2 for $3. Segre Napoleon Brandy, $1.99. Andre Champagne, Cold Duck, Pink Champagne, also $1.99. Sultana Export Soda Crackers, 1 pound, 8 ounce, $3.29. Del Campo Mild Itemized Salt, 26 ounce, 3 for 99 cents. And Sencor's very own Caribe Paper Towel, 89 cents a roll. That's all at Plaza Extra and at Shopping Plaza, where shopping is a pleasure 7 days a week.
A St. Croix attorney says that the territory's criminal justice system is regressing, largely because lawmakers have created the worst criminal code of any place under the U.S. flag. Speaking at a conference on ethics in the Virgin Islands criminal justice system, attorney Michael Joseph said the legislature has increased mandatory sentences and eliminated parole for some offenses. Lee Carl attended yesterday's session at Bluebeard's Castle Hotel, and he filed this report from St. Thomas.
Local and national guest speakers drew upon the humanities perspectives of history, ethics, and jurisprudence to guide the participants' work groups and developing recommendations for public policy and criminal justice reform to be submitted to the governor and the legislature. Sister Dolores Brinkley of the Criminal Justice Ministry in Kansas City, Missouri, was one of the speakers, as was Governor Alex Fairley, and the VI Police Department, the Criminal Justice Department, Senator Lorraine Berry and Senator Clement Kane McGrath, and members of the clergy were also on hand. But it was young attorney Michael Josephs from St. Croix who put his thumb on the matter, as mentioned by a number of people. That is, the criminal code. The criminal code of the Virgin Islands, Joseph said, is easily the worst in the U.S.
It was after the sentencing I found out. An attorney came to me and said, Michael, that was excellent allocution. You moved the victim to ask for mercy, but her support group told her not to do so. So here again, we have the weird behavior of a response to criminal conduct in a victim, the person who is hurt, is being denied by people who wasn't there, who got no hurt out of it. In other words, whose business it was not, at least not to the point when that victim had regained her own control over herself.
In St. Thomas, Lee Carl for News 8.
The Senate Committee on Rules and Nominations meets on St. Thomas tomorrow to consider several measures, including a bill for a water sports training program, the acceptance of a wastewater treatment facility on St. Thomas, and a number of lease agreements and staffing requests. The legislature meets in general session on Thursday to vote on the governor's nominees for Finance Commissioner, Director of the Small Business Development Agency, and members to the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority Governing Board. The lawmakers will also consider 4 bills, which will include a measure to honor the Virgin Islands Film Promotion Office and an appropriation to purchase optical scanning machines for the blind. An environmental impact report regarding the Cruz Bay wastewater treatment system is now available for study. Tom Stanwood has that report from St. John.
The draft environmental impact statement for the Cruz Bay wastewater facilities plan is completed and available for public review. The environmental impact statement was prepared by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, Region 2, with the assistance of C.E. McGuire, an environmental planning and engineering consulting firm. The issue-oriented decision-making document evaluates alternative wastewater treatment management plans for the Cruz Bay study area and addresses the impacts that each alternative may have on the surrounding environment, and also develops an environmentally compatible, cost-effective, and implementable wastewater management plan. The major issues addressed in the EIS include impacts to a national park, to endangered and threatened species, to cultural resources, secondary growth impacts, water supply impacts, and impacts to environmentally sensitive areas such as coral reefs and floodplains. The public may review the document from 8 to 5 in DCCA's Division of Natural Resource Management Office. That flea market, co-sponsored by Senator Robert O'Connor Jr. and Senator Lorraine Berry, will continue this week by the Morris de Castro Clinic. Proceeds will be directed to the purchase of medical equipment for use by the clinic and EMTs. The market continues through Friday. On St. John, this is Tom Stanwood reporting for News 8.
Imagine a world without doctors to treat you in an accident or to deliver your baby. In Florida, it's starting to happen as that state teeters on the edge of a malpractice crisis.
We're actually seeing people die.
Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Mr. Dollar Discount Store in Sunny Isle is having a big clearance sale this week only. Save 50% on all ladies' shoes, selected slacks, skirts, skirt sets, and blouses. 50% off girls' selected blouses, pant sets, and skirt sets. All fabric is 50% off, too. Also, selected men's shoes, $4. Selected dress pants, $8. Selected brand name jeans, $5. Selected short and long sleeve shirts, $5. Selected boys' dress shoes and sneakers, $4. And boys' shirts, 50% off. The big clearance sale is going on this week only at Mr. Dollar in Sunny Isle.
St. Croix sale is celebrating the 4th of July with a gigantic 4th of July sale. Subaru is offering rebates from $800 to $1,200 on its various models. Financing is available, so why wait? Want to use your rebate as a down payment? No problem. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Come to your authorized Subaru dealer at St. Croix sale. It's the 4th of July, so let's celebrate. $800 to $1,200 on rebates are waiting for you at St. Croix sale. On Miracle Mile next to McDonald's.
Good evening. I'm John Harding, Executive Director of the Virgin Islands Port Authority. The Virgin Islands Port Authority provides airport and marine facilities for you and the thousands of tourists who visit us each year. We also provide jobs and business opportunities. we will be giving you regular updates on our St. Croix Airport and marine projects, so you will be aware of what's going on at the ports in your community. I'm John Harding, asking you to keep watching Doc James Primetime and keep up with the Port Authority.
The Associated Press reports that the population of the U.S. Virgin Islands has dropped for the first time in 27 years. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the territory's population doubled between 1960 and 1970. By 1980, statistics showed another increase of about 50%, indicating a total figure of 96,500. Now, since 1980, the population has increased an average of 3,000 annually. However, last year was an exception, with the population dropping by some 1,300. Officials say the downturn can be attributed in part to the closing of the Martin Marietta plant and the layoffs at the Hess Oil refinery. The Virgin Islands Tourism Awareness and Advancement Link, called VITAL, in conjunction with the University of the Virgin Islands, will host a summer training program on St. Thomas. Heather Stevenson has details.
The 1987 Vital Summer Institute is a project of the Virgin Islands Tourism Awareness Advancement Link. The 3-week seminar will include lectures on management, hospitality, retailing, and tourism. The University of the Virgin Islands will coordinate the institute in cooperation with Vital and other community groups, including Chambers of Commerce, Retail Association, and the Department of Commerce. Vital's goals are to increase tourism awareness by launching an intensive community education awareness program regarding the value of tourism in the territory, as well as promoting programs for the youth by increasing their awareness about career opportunities for Virgin Islanders in the tourism industry. Vital is also expanding resources for training, educating, employment, and entrepreneurship opportunities for Virgin Islanders in the industry. Mabel Maduro, the executive director for the program, talks about this year's Summer Institute.
The Summer Institute is designed to provide managers, supervisory personnel, trainees, people already involved in the industry with additional professional training, as well as to introduce to those that are interested in careers in tourism, provide them with information about the career opportunities available. We are bringing in highly qualified instructors, not only from the Virgin Islands, but the U.S. mainland. This year, we plan to double our registration by attracting a larger Caribbean market. We're working closely with the U.S. Travel Tourism Administration to capture a larger U.S. mainland market. And we're offering scholarships on St. Thomas and St. Croix for 30 students or young adults aged 17 through 24.
Maduro goes on to discuss the special efforts made on St. Croix for the private and public sector to enroll their employees.
Special efforts have been made on St. Croix by doing direct mailing to all the hotels, restaurants, retail outlets, the Marine Association. We followed up with telephone contact and also having scheduled presentations to enlighten and encourage the private sector to send their employees, their supervisors, managers to this Summer Institute.
The final date for registering is July 10th. For further information about Vital Summer Institute, interested persons can contact Dr. Paul Leary at 776-9200, extension 1256, Bureau of Public Administration on the St. Thomas campus of the University of the Virgin Islands. This is Heather Stevenson for News 8 reporting.
A fire early this morning destroyed the office building at the British Virgin Islands High School on Tortola. Reports indicate that the principal's office was completely destroyed, as were a staff room and numerous records of the school's activities. Only the office building was affected, no injuries reported, and that case is still under investigation. A detective from London, England has been appointed to head the drug enforcement unit of the British Virgin Islands Police Force. Erasmus Williams has a report from Tortola.
A member of the Joint Scotland Yard United States Drug Enforcement Agency team, which investigated the affairs of Financial Management Trust here in connection with money laundering allegations, is to take command of the drugs unit of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. The Deputy Governor's Office, in a statement Monday, said Ian Brown, a senior detective officer in London's Metropolitan Police Force, will arrive here July 5th. The release said Brown is on loan for a one-year period, and his post is fully funded by the United Kingdom government. During his attachment in the British Virgin Islands, Brown will assume the rank of Assistant Superintendent and will be responsible to the Commissioner of Police for the command, deployment and training of the newly formed drugs unit of the force. Brown will also be responsible for the development of a comprehensive drugs intelligence system and liaise with other internal and external agencies involved in drugs enforcement. The British Virgin Islands is among countries participating in a workshop on teen parenthood which began in St. Kitts Monday. Maud Frett of the British Virgin Islands High School is among 34 participants from 17 Commonwealth countries who are examining the contributing factors to the high incidence of adolescent fertility. The workshop brings together professionals and others who work closely with young people and is jointly sponsored by the Guyana-based Commonwealth Youth Program Caribbean Center, the Caribbean Family Planning Affiliation, and the International Planned Parenthood Federation. Erasmus Williams in Rhodetown, Tortola for News 8.
When we return, Tracy Stevens has the sports report, Virgin Islands highlights, and the latest weather forecast.
Don't miss it. Be ready for the 1987 hurricane season. With Channel 8 Hurricane Map, pick up your hurricane map from Plaza Extra Supermarket, St. Croix, Lucy's Supermarket, St. Thomas, and Right With Food Market, Tortola. Yes, Plaza Extra, Lucy's Market, Right With Food Market, and Channel 8 brings you the 1987 hurricane tracking map as a community service. Be prepared. Pick up your hurricane map today from Lucy's Supermarket, St. Thomas, Plaza Extra, St. Croix, and Right With Food, Tortola.
Janko Distributors, Scion Farm, St. Croix is the distributor for Chef Way rice, which we all know is
the all-American parboiled rice. Chef Way rice, cooks light and fluffy. Chef Way rice stays light and fluffy.
For the finest taste in chicken sausage, there's one name to remember, Valrico. So don't settle for anything else. It has to be Valrico. Valrico. Distributed by Janko Distributors, St. Croix. Paradise Motors St. Thomas, featuring the affordable 1987 Camry Deluxe sedan, includes such standard features as auto-off headlamp system, tilt steering wheel with memory, variable assist power steering, reclining front bucket seats with adjustable headrest, and child protector rear door locks. The Camry Deluxe wagon has all the virtues of the sedan and up to 65.1 cubic feet of cargo carrying capacity. Split rear seat backs let you carry long parcels and still have room for 2 rear seat passengers. The Camry Deluxe sedan and wagon, available at Paradise Motors St. Thomas.
Good evening. In sports today, Jimmy Connors pulled off one of the great comebacks in Wimbledon history with a 1-6, 1-6, 7-5, 6-4, 6-2 fourth-round victory over Michael Pernfors of Sweden. The win put Connors in the men's quarterfinals for the 11th time in his career. We'll be back with more sports highlights right after this.
Sports is brought to you by Texaco.
You hear those knocks? Texaco asked me to drive up the steepest hill we could find to show you what happens when you refill your tank with Texaco Super Unleaded with Petrox. Its detergent helps clean clogged fuel injectors, and it has higher octane to help knock out knocks. Watch. Same engine, same hill, but the knocks are gone. If you're not getting performance like this, switch to Texaco Super Unleaded with Petrox. Super star power for more car power.
Yankees hit 5 home runs last night. 2 of those homers grand slam. The Yankees needed every one of those homers to beat Toronto 15-14. Ron Kittle helped the Yankees open a 7-run lead against the Blue Jays. Kittle, one of the slowest Yankees, hit an inside the park home run. Toronto, though, came back and they led 14-11 in the 8th inning, 2 out, bases loaded. Dave Winfield won the game for New York with a grand slam home run. The win puts the Yankees a game ahead of Toronto in the American League East. At Fenway Park in Boston, Wade Boggs drove in a career-high 7 runs, leading the Red Sox to a 14-3 rout of the Orioles. Boggs, by the way, raised his batting average to .384. In the 6th inning, with the bases loaded and Scott McGregor pitching for Baltimore, Boggs cleared the bases, his 2nd career grand slam. On the scoreboard, Angels easily over the Indians. Royals beat the Twins, the Tigers 11, the Brewers 1. When the Tigers' Pat Sheridan went up to bat in the 6th inning, he saw 8 of Milwaukee's players in the infield, only 1 outfielder. No problem for Sheridan, though. He lined a single to center field. Rangers beat the Mariners 4-3. White Sox topped the A's by a count of 5-2. The defending champion Mets are now 7.5 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals. The Mets lost to the Cards in 11 innings last night. Mets loaded the bases in the bottom of the 11th inning, but to no avail. Ken Daly struck out Gary Carter to end the game. Expos lost to the Cubs. Phillies took 2 from the Pirates, a couple of shutouts. Padres shut out the Dodgers. Braves shut out the Giants. In the 5th inning, winning pitcher Zane Smith rushed towards the plate to thwart a squeeze play. He collided with umpire Billy Williams, who had to leave the game with a sprained ankle.
And that's it for sports. In the VI highlights, the VI Community Action Agency Community Service Component will be conducting citizenship classes for qualified permanent residents interested in becoming naturalized citizens. Classes on St. Croix will be held July 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd at Alania Christian Junior High School from 7 to 8 p.m. And the Police Commissioner of the St. Croix District has extended the time given for the inspection of motor vehicles whose numbers end in 6 until July 2nd. Highlights is brought to you as a public service by Antilles Graphic Arts, the home of the shopper. If you have an item of community interest, send it to Highlights, P.O. Box 8 ABC, Christiansted, St. Croix. This evening's weather forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. The low is 78 degrees with easterly winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly sunny and hazy tomorrow, high 89 degrees with easterly winds near 15 miles per hour. There should be some improvement in our weather as high pressure becomes the dominant weather feature. Fairly normal weather should return for the remainder of the week. And that's the latest forecast issued by the National Weather Service in San Juan.
That's our report for this evening. ABC World News Tonight follows in just a moment. On behalf of everyone at News 8, thank you for joining us, and good night.
News 8 was brought to you tonight by Esso Standard Oil.
You've got a date in Puerto Rico at Howard Johnson's. Flavor is great in Puerto Rico at Howard Johnson's.
Enjoy our fabulous summer weekend special with your family. $28 per person per night, double occupancy. Children under 18 free. Nearby beaches, shopping, our pool, our restaurant, and our famous ice cream. Valid through December 20th, Howard Johnson's Condado. Your home away from home.
You've got a date in Puerto Rico at Howard Johnson's.
Channel 8 brings you an audio and visual excursion of small businesses of the Virgin Islands. It's time for shopping around.
Fleming's Transport Inc., your one-stop for all your shipping, trucking, custom clearance, and storage needs. When it comes to moving across the street or anywhere in the world, let the professionals at Fleming's do the work for you. Call us today at 778-9160.
H. Thomas Alternator Rebuild Service, number 2B Content, Howard Highway, St. Thomas. Specializes in alternators, starting motors, electric motors, rebuild, sales, and service. We also have all types of alternator starters and electric motors in stock. Call us at 46115 H. Thomas.
Big D's Clack and Craft Creation, where you'll find a wide selection of locally made souvenirs and other fine items to suit your desire. Conveniently located in the Tropic Isle Shopping Center in Road Town, Tortola. Telephone 525-84 today.
Biome Insurance Agency and Financial Planning Service is a complete business and personal insurance agency on St. Croix. Call them at 30581 and ask about their many services. Biome Insurance Agency, Carville Arcade, Christiansted.
WSVI-TV, Channel 8. Broadcasting.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Tonight, reporting from Washington.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the Reagan administration's policy for the Persian Gulf. It has always been controversial. This plan to give Kuwaiti oil tankers American flag protection, it is now a policy under increasing pressure. Here in Washington today, the president and his staff called in the leaders of Congress and told them that American credibility and the